If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. Sun Tzu didn't see war as just a test of brute strength. He saw it as a game of intelligence and strategy. To win, you don't just overpower your opponent. You outthink them. That means understanding how they operate, what they're good at, where they're weak, and anticipating their next move. But just as important is knowing yourself. Because if you overestimate or underestimate your own abilities, you're setting yourself up for failure. For Sun Tzu, the real art of war is about foresight and not letting emotions cloud your judgment. War is inherent to humanity and will last as long as humanity itself. Proudhon didn't see war as purely negative. To him, it was also a force that pushed humanity forward, driving both the instinct for conquest and the spirit of revolution. He argued that if men weren't warriors at heart, we'd be nothing more than a herd, living without ideals, without aspirations. War, in his view, is deeply tied to human nature because it reflects our fundamental drive to improve our condition. War is nothing but the continuation of policy by other means. Clausewitz was one of the most influential military strategists of the 19th century. To him, politics was all about defending one's interests, whether political, economic, or ideological. And when diplomacy failed or those interests were at risk, war became just another way to pursue them. But you could also flip it around and say that politics is just a war, only without the weapons. War is just when it is necessary. Here, Machiavelli takes a purely pragmatic view. To him, war isn't inherently good or bad, just like violence, deception, or manipulation. These are just tools, and what matters is the outcome. For Machiavelli, the ultimate goal is maintaining power. If a war helps secure or strengthen it, then it is justified. Everything else is beside the point. War is not a relation between man and man, but a relation between state and state. For Rousseau, humans are naturally innocent. In other words, we're not born violent. He argued that war only came about with the rise of borders and states, which introduced competing national interests. If individuals go to war, it's not because they have some built-in warrior instinct. It's because they're imitating states. War is the father of all things. For Heraclitus, the universe is in constant motion, a concept known as universal flux. But this motion isn't random. It's driven by the perpetual clash of opposites, day and night, hot and cold, life and death. Conflict isn't just a human affair. Nature itself is at war. That's why Heraclitus says, war is the father of all things. Because in our world, every change comes from struggle, and every act of creation is born from the tension between opposing forces. War preserves the moral health of nations. Hegel saw conflict as a driving force in history. When humans go to war, they're not just fighting battles. They're shaping history itself. This is what he called dialectics, the idea that contradictions drive progress. And if you think about it, war also strengthens collective identity, pushing people beyond their limits for a common cause. In that sense, waging war isn't just about power or territory. It's a way for humans to take part in the unfolding of universal history. The state of war suspends morality. For Levinas, morality starts with recognizing the other as someone worthy of respect. Seeing the face of the other is a fundamental ethical experience. It's the very embodiment of "thou shalt not kill." But war erases this commandment by making the face of the other disappear. I no longer see a person, I see an opposing force. I'm no longer dealing with someone, but with something that must be eliminated. We do not make war. War makes us. Sartre saw human existence as rooted in freedom. We're completely free because at every moment, we have the power to choose our next action. But war changes that. A soldier is no longer just a person making choices. He's reduced to his role, his uniform, and the orders he follows. In a way, war makes man by taking away what truly defines him, the ability to shape himself.